ban towards Celavar. Like, every single game where Celavar can just pick whatever AD carry he wants to, and he will pick it early on, and as long as he gets a hyper carry, we have seen how good he is.
So, no change here for ROCCAT. Blue side Cassadin ban, TF Orianna, same bans as game number 1. Other side, similar again, Maokai and Elise that we saw in game 1, but this time they do decide to get rid of the Zilean. Leaves Alistair open here, which Zazas was first picking if we look backwards a little bit. Also left Fizz open, which is going to be a first pick by ROCCAT.
So it explains the ban from Fnatic then in game 1, because clearly ROCCAT now feels Fizz is first pick worthy, and it is the only assassin we really see Overpower perform on, but once he actually plays it, he always does it really well. Very passive, the Overpower style in the start, but then as soon as he has items, he starts split pushing. Like, he needs the Hourglass, he needs the Void Staff, and he will start killing people in one-on-one, and he always runs teleport on the Fizz, so they have this double teleport threat normally. Let's see if he does it here.
So for Fnatic then, we talked about maybe you have to look towards Celavar here as a big player. Instead of banning, they actually first pick the Kog'Maw. Take that away from him. They take Nami again, as they did in game number 1. But ROCCAT are just saying, do we just run with a similar lineup? Kha'Zix worked a treat for Jankos in game 1.
Yeah.
Nidalee was a strong pick for Zazas as well. Why change something that's not broken?
Exactly, and we saw the chase potential in every single team fight. When they got Fnatic low, they just kept chasing, kept landing the slows, and picked up even more kills and really snowballed the game. On Fnatic's side, however, this is more what I expected from them when they first picked Nami in the last game, to go for a very strong lane setup. Now you have one of the best poke lanes. You can out-sustain people, you outrange them, you have so much poke in this lane here, 2v2. And therefore the Nami really makes a lot of sense. In game 1, first picking Nami and then go for the lane swap. Yes, okay, they wanted to have the Twitch, you can then give him the E from Nami and speed him up, and you could kind of like sneak up on people and kill them. Still, it was a little bit weird with first pick Nami, and I like this a lot more. So strong dual lane now from Fnatic here. Can potentially look for even more teamfight-based champions, like a Swain.
And there he is, Swain coming into this one. We've been hearing the rumors, of course. We saw Swain actually being played already in that top lane last week.
Unicorns of Love.
Unicorns of Love it was that played it, and it was terrifying, actually.
Yes.
Syndra as well, so Peke decided Syndra, despite me having problems a little bit later on into the game, very strong for controlling the lane early on. See how he does here against Zazas.
Yeah, and again, with all the mid lane bans, kind of has to go down the list a little bit. So Syndra, once again, was good in the laning phase, set up some nice kills, but his team fighting positioning was not good enough. And he was the guy who got caught out of position a few times. He was one of the reasons they lost the early team fights and fell very far behind. And the Swain pick here, actually into a Nidalee. Swain is a very, very strong laner, and it's not a lane matchup I've seen for a long time. So I'm really looking forward to see what's going to happen, if it's going to be a one-on-one. Swain always had one of the issues that if you do lane swap on him, he's pretty useless at farming the jungle. So he kind of needs this one-on-one lane to get his items. He often needs the Rod of Ages, Hourglass we see on Swain, because he needs to get in the face of people, he needs to have some defensive stats as well. But then he can become a real pain.
So, it was Tristana that Celavar went for. If we look back to the quarterfinal, once they decided, okay, we can't let him have Kog'Maw anymore, we have to get rid of that one. Tristana and the Corki were the two choices that he went for. Over for Fnatic, Cyanide not going to get his hands on the Elise. They banned that themselves. Kha'Zix got out, decided he doesn't want to play Jarvan this time around, going for Elise. No, not Elise, Evelynn.
Evelynn,
which is what
yeah.
that champion is.
I know it's one of Cyanide's main champions, but on ROCCAT side here, the Tristana pick might even be better for them, because they can now really fast push towers in the late game, where they will have Fizz in one lane split pushing, they can have Nidalee in another lane, and then you have Celavar sitting in the mid lane, static shift, clear the waves pretty fast, get down to a tower, and then with Tristana, pop your Q, and you can just melt the towers really, really fast here. So ROCCAT really looking to do this 1-3-1, which also explains the Evelynn pick on the side for Fnatic here, because she's one of the best junglers against this split push, because you don't really know where she is. You can't constantly, well, if you can keep constant deep wards in the jungle, you can often spot her out, but then late game when you keep split pushing there and she's stealthing up on you and quickly turn it into a 2v1 where you expect it to be a one-on-one, is where Evelynn really can shine and shut down a split push. So there's a very strong pick here for Cyanide, and we've seen him time and time again play it, and we've even seen Fnatic first pick it in the Super Week 2 games in a row.
Also, just want to touch on the fact that Soa's playing another new champion for him. I think traditionally in the past, so as I don't know the exact facts on this one, so I might just be making it up somewhat, a little bit maybe, that when he brings something new, his first games always seem to catch people off guard, and he does very, very well with them.
Well, we've also seen him do pretty poorly in the very first games, and people are always like, why are you playing this champion? And he keeps playing it, and then all of a sudden it works, and everyone starts playing it. But yes, he tends to be the guy who always pulls out the new stuff, unexpected. Again, Swain against Nidalee, it's not a matchup I've seen before, so I hope we get one-on-one lanes to see who's actually going to be the strongest.
Well, let's find out if we'll get one-on-ones or that one of those lane swaps will come in as we head into game 4, match number 2 here between Fnatic and ROCCAT. Let's not forget the scoreline 1-0 to ROCCAT as they move over to the blue side, and they're just 2 wins away from going into the grand final of playoffs, but more importantly, would be the first team to qualify for the 2014 World Championship. If I'd have told you that that was going to happen at the start of the year, you would have probably called me a bit of a madman.
Well, just remember, well, just go a few weeks back, actually. ROCCAT ended as number 6 in the EU LCS. They were the lowest seed going into the quarterfinals. Then they destroyed Super Hot Crew. And that's why they're sitting here at Gamescom. Just won the first game. Vander once again wants to log into Thresh, don't want to play Morgana into Nami. And why would you if you can just land hooks left and right and save people with your lantern?
Well, that's it, right? If you look, and we can talk about lane counters all day long, but the counter to everything is landing every single hook later on into the game, and that's something that Vander has definitely excelled on. In the first match that we've seen stranger swings in best of 5s, though, as you see a scan coming out there. A sweeping lens taken by Overpower here at level 1. We'll clear out that ward on the top side of Fnatic's jungle. We'll see if that forces any reaction from Fnatic. Actually, it looks like their ROCCAT are going to just be backing away from this one. That Kha'Zix will end up moving over, or maybe not. Now he's stepped forward once again, but with losing that ward, Fnatic are having to defend it off a little bit, and there is a Peke ward onto the ramp. ROCCAT just back away to blue. Yeah,
and you can't really invade on a red buff when it's you, or only the jungle on the top lane doing it. Often we see it when people lane swap and you send the dual lane in just to be more people. We will get standard lanes. We actually saw both Vander and Celavar take the long way around their own jungle while pinging it. They were okay, they don't want to give away the fact there could be a ward in there, or if Fnatic were waiting at their own red buff. They didn't want to risk face taking him, so took the long way, played it very safe, and is now down this bottom lane, early pushing it. Try and get to level 2 as fast as possible and potentially set up a hook for Vander.
Oh, well, should be hitting it here fairly shortly. Let's see how this one
needs
works
3 more.
They're going to go aggressive,
Yeah, this one and then
next wave. And then Yellow Star trying to do as much damage as he can back onto Vander here. Auto attacks coming out. Get him low enough so that even if he does land the hook, he'll be scared of going in. There's the Flate onto Yellow Star to offer a bit more damage back.
1 more minion and they get level 2. Well,
Celavar does. Vander will get it with the end of this wave. Let's be safe on that one. There we go, level 2, and you see that Fnatic have already just backed straight away onto the tower.
Yeah, and it's one of the worst feelings down the bottom lane when you know, okay, they're gonna get level 2. We have to just go back to our tower and wait for the minions to arrive, and then we can start picking them up. Didn't do much of a difference here. Reckless now instantly, as Fnatic actually at level 2 are looking to trade now. Remember, they do have to heal for Yellow Star, while Vander will only have his Relic Shield to try and keep himself and Celavar sustained. And that's a cannon minion.
Yeah, that was a minion there, Vander. But look at this, Jankos, the first blood master of the European LCS, trying to get involved on this bottom lane. They've got no idea onto Yellow Star. Exhaust goes down. It's an early flash. The bubble actually came in onto Vander as well. Good try. They almost lost Celavar as that went down, though.
Yeah, there's a lot of damage being traded here between the 280 carries, and then Celavar switches damage over to Yellow Star, while Reckless just kept hitting Celavar throughout I'm saying like the 1 second fight we had before the flash out, but still, got a few extra auto attacks on him. Did have to use the flash from Yellow Star, though. Very fast reactions here.
And the funny thing is,
honestly, this was almost in favor of Fnatic because Celavar was forced to go back to base.
That was exactly my next point. The funny thing is, it was ROCCAT that orchestrated that gank, and it's ROCCAT who have to send their AD carry early out of lane and will fall 12 CS behind. I almost really counted that completely wrong again, which wouldn't be the first time either. There's another bubble coming in, doesn't land, and Vander will be trying to clean up as much of this CS as he can while Celiva finally does get himself now back into lane. And Fnatic just going to utilize that one, going, taking the recall back into base, and Reckless will come through with the workings of his Phage.
We still have to remember Tristana is slightly weaker in the early game on this patch. Lost quite some damage actually on an explosive shot her E in the early stages. And Reckless has been winning the trade. Still, Yankees up in his top lane now, want to force a second flash, and it works.
Nicely done there.
So was want to snare the wall.
Cyanide was actually coming in as well, but he'd already started to move away from things. So flash down on the top side. No flash for Yellow Star. So Jankos, if you're just going by summon and spells alone here, has got a few opportunities to get in for another first blood. So Overpower and Peke starting to move up towards level 6. Both of them are around about 5.5, and Overpower with that wave now is going to be headed back home. Actually decides to recall. I was going to say Peke had pushed that lane pretty quickly.
And Fnatic here actually expected a teleport from Overpower. So Peke decided to pick teleport himself. So now both of the double global pressure, and also Overpower won't be able to use the teleport to actually sustain himself in lane, because Peke can do the exact same and therefore keep his CS lead and keep pressuring him down. Expect Overpower to just instantly TP back to lane after he's been back to base. And again, it's the style of Overpower. Very passive in the start. I'm not expecting him to do any kind of split pushing before he really feels like he has 2, maybe even 3 items. Normally he will walk into the lane, take the wave, but he won't really pick any fights before he really feels strong enough.
Well, so the bubble jump there down in the bottom lane. Zaz's actually going to be jumped on this top side as well, but he goes down to half and actually manages to return a good chunk of that back onto Cyanide. And look at it, Jankos waiting here by that mid lane. Of course, neither of them, because they're running teleport, have Ignite for those extra ticks of damage that could set something up. I think he just spotted him there. And, well, there's a ward in the brush, so he definitely will have spotted him now. And Jankos realizing that one, he's just going to back away. You see that level 6 has been hit by both mid laners. Zaz shouldn't be too far away from level 6 here as well. So has already hit it and just destroying minions as you do.
Yeah, so this top lane here, slight CS advantage to Zazus once he actually picks up all the farm under the tower here. Otherwise, it's been a fairly even lane, and we have to remember Source was forced to flash due to the gank from Yankees, where he did lose some farm. Otherwise, been fairly even in the top lane. Mid lane here, slight advantage for Expect, and then the bottom lane, due to the recall from Celiva early on, means actually Reckless and Yellow Star is doing well. And also, you do have a Nami lane, which is very strong. You have this long-range poke and sustain we always talk about.
Oh, look at that. I thought Jankos was just going to wait inside the brush and try and cheekily steal that one away. Won't need to. Actually pulling all the way off to the back, smites it down. Really well done there by Jankos, timing in on that red buff nicely. And that's kind of the roles reversed. In game 1, it was Fnatic that were really looking for good buff control.
But it was actually very nice timing from ROCCAT in the sense that we had him in the top lane. Source had recalled and he was running back to lane. So Zazus was already moving to the jungle. He was there before Source could even have teleported to it if he wanted to, and therefore he would have instantly been 2 members from ROCCAT. Also, Overpower from the mid lane was actually moving. He ignored his minions in the mid lane and just ran straight into the jungle of Fnatic to make sure, in case there was a fight, he was there to help.
Oh,
this is supposed to pop the wall.
Yeah, stun and using his ultimate to get away from that one. Obviously, not quite as strong of an ultimate as it was previously on Kha'Zix that made you almost as unkillable as an Alistar with brief invisibility periods as well. Now though, this bottom lane, very much pressure in there. Good sidestep by Yellow Star. 74 to 57 CS in that bottom lane. All stems from that early gank from Jankos where they took more damage than they gave out.
And also goes the strong lane matchup, and the fact that Fnatic is actually pushing it into the tower, and it's very hard for Tristana to farm on the tower because of explosive shot. It's always managed to just deny 1 or 2 CS whenever they get it into the tower.
So that leaves them 14 CS ahead. Actually, we did see Celiva pick up the pickaxe there, something that a lot of Tristaners, in fact, most of them end up with the pickaxe first rather than the lucky few who have such a good start that they can go back with a BF sword into lane. We'll see where Celiva actually decides to go with that, whether he just focuses straight on getting Infinity Edge first or whether he does what everyone else has really been doing and getting then the Zeal into Static Shift.
He should really get the Static Shift as the first item now and just keep the pickaxe like we see, especially because if you look at the side of ROCCAT here, where's the wave clear? Jankos can provide some, and then you have Celabar, so he needs the early static shift in case Fnatic wants to early group and start pushing down towers. If Celabar goes Infinity Edge first item, he won't be able to clear the waves fast enough. So I do expect him to go static shift. We have to see what happens next time he goes back. I mean, sometimes we do see them go for the pickaxe and plan on going static shift, but then suddenly they pick up like 2 kills and a dragon, like, okay, now I can actually instantly just complete my Infinity Edge, and they do it. Let's see what he decides to do. Up in this top lane, every time Source has the chance, he just walks straight towards Xaxus, pops the E and the Q, because the E gives him some extra damage on the rest of his abilities, which is one of the lovely things about Swain. One of the annoying things is the fact that the auto attack animation is pretty annoying, in my opinion. That is an annoying thing. And I used to play a lot of Swain until I started to get stomped on in every single game. I just got killed in mid lane and I stopped playing.
And decided to move to the support.
Yeah, that was also part of it.
Well, top lane actually could be a bit of a problem here for Soaz.
Jankos is coming in though.
That's what I mean. Jankos is coming into this one. Soaz had already pushed quite far up the lane. Jankos going to get around the side. Soaz does have flash available though, and well, he is also Swain running through a bunch of minions, which will make sure that he stays pretty healthy. But with that, Jungler shows himself in the top lane. Fnatic move with 3 men. It's not exactly what we could call an early dragon in this day and age. It's 11 minutes in. Fnatic will take the first one of the game.
So
that was close though.
We have to question the gank here from Jankos. There's no healing reduction on the side of either Nidalee or Kha'Zix here to actually try and kill Source, and it was way too easy for him to just escape the gank and therefore give up the dragon. It's a good response by Fnatic. And obviously on the side of ROCCAT, we have to talk about in these teamfights here. As long as Celabar is there or overpowered to actually hit Soaz, they will get the healing reduction on him. You have the E from Tristana, you have of course the W from Fizz to do it. But that's about it. So as long as they're actually hitting Soaz here in these fights, they can get the healing reduction on him. Otherwise, there is no other option. Not exactly expecting Morel or Normicon from either Nidalee or the Fizz.
No. Maybe later on, but for now, definitely other priorities.
Yeah. And not saying it's not enough to have 2 members who can give the healing reduction. It's just a fast point to make here. And of course, we'll make it a bit risky for Source to go in the middle of the team unless he has an hourglass to pop.
So I've looked at some CS tools here, because if you look at the bottom and middle lane, it's pretty much an identical scenario with Fnatic really storming ahead by quite a chunk of gold. Top lane is very even still though. 101 to 99 as Overpower gonna try and possibly come in behind. Well, there's wards there anyway, either way, so nothing really for the taking. He just went down, put a pink ward in there. There's actually a couple of Fnatic pinks down by the dragon, which of course were placed earlier when they, I don't want to say snuck a dragon in there. It was kind of obvious that was going to happen once Jankos had showed himself in the top lane. Bottom lane is also pushing out in ROCCAT's favor, and that's where Jankos has gone this time.
Yeah, exactly the same as always from Jankos here. Just walk into the lane, start pushing it in. We see Celabar going towards static shift and hook onto Yellowstar.
Oh, well, they go all in on this one. There is the exhaust onto Celabar actually, and that will allow Yellowstar to actually get away again. Playing it very cool, decided not to use the flash. The exhaust was enough for him, but that should give now ROCCAT maybe a little bit of time to get some CS back in this bottom lane. Meanwhile, Overpower struggling, really struggling in this mid lane again.
Yeah, he's not able to do anything to expect here. He's just getting poked down every single time he goes for CS. He takes a Q to the face and takes a lot of damage for it. Will be the bottom tower again. ROCCAT special. He has Jankos is running into the lane on Kha'Zix or Elise, push down the wave. You all have the early attack speed because we are going to see the static shift for Celabar, and you just start pushing down these towers. They can now go up to the top lane and do the same because there's no dragon. It was lost before simply due to Jankos doing, in my opinion, an uncalled for gank up in this top lane and just gave away dragon for no reason.
So, that was quite happy to sit back there.
Here.
Oh, this could be really bad for him though. Let's see how they can do it. Can the never move land? He will actually manage to lock them up there. Ulti comes out from Cyanide as well, but Xaxus playing it tricky, will flash. One more pounce will do it, but Cyanide gets in range, gets the first blood. Flash Fish is going to come his way. Overpower, has he got the damage? Yellowstar gets involved. The bubble actually was sidestepped, didn't manage to lock him up, and that may be it. He does get the kill. Nevermove comes in meanwhile. Peke going to be finished off by Jankos. Jankos can't get any more there in the end. turns into a 2 for 2.
So Yellowstar was actually roaming from the base to this top side here to join in for the fight. And meanwhile, we had all the action going on in this top side. Jankos just jumped in onto Expector here with the red buff, killed him one-on-one, forced the flash as well. Make sure it's a 2-on-2, and no tower went down on this top lane because they were busy trading for the kills. Zazus also just died in. Once again, Mr. Jankos, I would actually love to see a count on how many towers this guy is part of killing in every single game. Because now he's going to get the second one. One more hit. There it is. Oh, Vander, you might die now.
Oh, the TP came through. Ulti coming in. Oh, well, he needed one more auto attack. That would have stopped the death of Vander there, funnily enough. And in the end, didn't quite work out. There's the vote as it currently stands. 67% for Fnatic. And I expected with that top pick of Soaz that it would slightly sway.
Ah. Haha.
No, pretty terrible one. I'll not do that.
I actually liked it. I do like Swain pumps.
So, bottom lane's going down. That's reckless domination. Oh, this could get very interesting. Stun's coming out. Becky, of course, only just uses ultimate, so that's off cooldown. And overpower. Is he going to go for it? Fisher's coming up in just a second. They may continue to chase through. Well, I jinxed it too early there. The fish came off cooldown, but Fnatic had already backed away. ROCCAT didn't want any more of it. They're taking the tower, which is something they seem to be quite happy to do. You know, trade up in kills.
Yeah.
Maybe be behind in CS, but if you get the towers, you're doing it right.
And again, it doesn't matter that Fnatic put so many wards in the jungle to spot out Jankos because he's not running in for the gank anyway. He's just running straight into the lane, go to the minions, start wave playing them and push them into the tower, and he just keeps doing it over and over. And because they have 3 members and because Sana was elsewhere on the map, he wasn't there to respond, and tower is gone. Evelyn at the same time won't really be able to go in and just like do the same kind of wave play as a Kha'Zix anyway. At least not with the same range. It's gonna be a little more risky for Cyanide to do. And therefore, second game in a row we see the Kha'Zix for Jankos, and second game in a row where he's part of all the early tower kills. Elise is being banned for this exact reason, to stop him from doing it. We're just doing it on a different jungler, so potentially Kha'Zix ban coming in the next game if they really want to try and shut him down. Otherwise, just give him the Elise.
Well, if you get blue side, I think you've got to feel that that might be an option, to be honest, for Fnatic. Ban out Kha'Zix or Elise, take the other one. We'll see about that, though. Now it all develops. There's still time for Fnatic to feel more comfortable as the fish is going to whiff off to the side. And that won't be that. Dragon, meanwhile, has just come into play. But we are going to see a quick pause here by Fnatic. Looks like Reckless or Yellowstar seem to be having a problem there, so get that one fixed up and we can get things back underway. But that also gives us a bit of a chance to look at where the game is right now. 17 minutes into the game. 3-2 in kills, so fairly low scoring at this stage. I mean, depends, I suppose, what you're going to compare it with here at Gamescom, especially the international wildcard. Yeah. This is definitely a low score if we're going to compare it to that. But there's the scoreboard for you. If you look at those 3 kills for Fnatic, 1 in the top lane, 1 in the jungle, 1 in the mid lane. Reckless not really being involved in much right now, but that's because he was just sat in that 1v1 against Celiva down bottom, pushing. Got a CS lead, took the tower as well.
Yeah, the big deal really is the fact that Fnatic has won every single lane in terms of farm. They've lost 2 towers because, again, Jankos was just picking up the bot lane and the mid lane tower. But in terms of just pure CS, Fnatic is ahead in every single lane here.
Yeah.
And while they are also hitting kills, they also got a dragon. I mean, the global gold and the farm simply means they do have like 2,000, 2,500 gold lead at this point, which of course they can use now for the next dragon, because ROCCAT gave up the first dragon by Jankos running to top lane, running into the lane, look at Source and say, I can't actually kill you, I'm not sure what I'm doing here, and then run back to his own jungle and lose the dragon. Fnatic has the perfect time on it. They can set up for the next one. They have the gold lead. Looking very strong. Rod of Age is completed for Source. It's been stacking up for a while now. So it's going to be almost fully stacked by the time they're going to look for the next dragon fight anyway. Athene's completed for Expector and Trinity Force completed for Reckless. So all their members at the moment looking very good for the potential fight. And also we have to remember Overpower and Fizz, he wants more time before he want to join these fights. He only has a Lich Bane. If he jumps in now, he's going to be a very easy target for Fnatic to burst down. He needs the Hourglass before he can really join these team fights.
Yeah.
So we might actually see ROCCAT just give up this dragon here. Also remember Tristana with a weak mid game. Don't really want to be part of these fights around the dragon in 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Needs to get in vintage, static shift before she can really start joining in. So I wouldn't be surprised to see ROCCAT just give up the next dragon. Maybe try and trade it for the top tower. And in that way, just get all the outer turrets. Or kill all the outer turrets and do what they did in the last game and then start moving into jungle of Fnatic, place down the wards, and maybe just keep looking for the split push here and hope they can get the same kind of mistake from Fnatic as we saw in game 1 around their base race, which worked out so well for them.
Just a quick update as well on what's actually happening here. Apparently they have a bit of a visual bug going on around about the dragon. It's invisible, which is not the ideal scenario to be in. I thought it might have just been Reckless looking at his scoreboard and saying 0, 0, 0. That's not right.
Well, he is a good AD carry, but can't expect to get so many kills. It's not Holy Phoenix, who's just picking up 10 kills every single laning phase.
Well, there's still time for that one. We may see a Vayne come out later, of which Reckless has just a decent KDA, 65, I believe it is. 65 KDA on Vayne.
I've seen better.
That's a champion that you might not want to let go through later. But guys, looks like we are almost ready to get back in, so we are going to jump in. Dragon, of course, just spawned in there. Fnatic now are all surrounding that one. ROCCAT, though, seem to be moving in for this one. Both top laners. Actually, that's a lie, because Xaxus doesn't have a TP.
ROCCAT needs to get this dragon up. They should just move away from the dragon here. There can be 5 members from Fnatic. Unless Xaxus goes back to base now and runs straight to the dragon, so there are potentially 5 members. But then Fnatic can just stall it and wait for Source to push down to the next tower and get some damage on it before he teleports in here. So at the moment, Fnatic looking very, very strong to take the dragon and should be able to do it.
And this is the controlled Fnatic that we were expecting, to be honest, coming into this best of 5. ROCCAT, as we mentioned before, underdog, but definitely a team that can beat Fnatic if they're on their form, if they're on their best day, which in game 1, it was hard to say that they weren't. There we go, Hawk coming through after the ward will be cleared out, and Fnatic being very, very cautious about this one.
Look here, Xaxus actually recalled and now ran to the dragon. Overpower's going to do the same, but he does have teleport. And so is doing the same, so we might actually see a 5 versus 5 here. Because Fnatic didn't start it and used the teleport from Source to take it before ROCCAT could even react. They actually want to wait. Maybe because they want to set up a fight themselves.
Land a few spears. Try and get in for this one. Let's see, the dragon already been started.
Look at Reckless here.
Fnatic, yeah, they don't have their AD carry there, which is obviously a worry for Fnatic. They've got decent vision down inside of the pit itself, so it's a case of just waiting it out, wait till both Reckless and Peke actually come over there, or maybe even make a bit of a push on that mid lane. Celiva, meanwhile, is nowhere near anywhere else. And look at this, ROCCAT are actually moving into position to try and repeat what they did in game number 1. They're going to send 3 men towards the inner turret. They're losing this one, though. This is a 5-man push. They have to come back.
Wave clear.
They have to come back here. Turret is going to go down. Jankos is already recalling, but they need to hurry up because Fnatic are onto the inhibitor turret. They're going to throw the fish out just to try and stop them. Those minions still alive, though, as they go in towards Overpower. He's going to be burst down by Peke, and Fnatic will take the inhibitor turret.
So Fnatic now making sure they're actually winning the base race. 5 members pushing down. They only had to give up 1 tower in the bottom lane here. The only wave clear actually from ROCCAT was the fish from Overpower. He landed on Source. He stepped away from the minions so they didn't die. And then Overpower tried to jump in. As we talked about, no hourglass. He's just going to die instantly if he tries to jump into the Fnatic members here. Jankos going for the steal, didn't get it.
Didn't get it though.
Lantern though.
He's going to lantern out of there, but can they actually get away from it? Cyanide right on top of them all. Vander goes down very, very low. Soaz trying to tank up everything. Xaxus is at half. Here comes the fish from the side. Overpower gets one. Can he get any more? Focus down here. Going to be finished off. It's Reckless against that one. Jankos dies as well. And the stun hit 3 men. And that is going to be a triple kill for Reckless. And no longer does he have that scoreboard visual bug. He's got 3 kills and 2 assists.
Such a nice stun here by Peke. In the very, very end, hit 3 members from ROCCAT, and then Reckless just steps in, picks up all the kills here. Now, Fnatic, they did delay the dragon, and as soon as ROCCAT moved into it, they actually stepped in towards the mid lane and just start pushing it down here. ROCCAT wanted to try and steal it. They're only 4 members, but they did have teleport on Overpower. He's actually going to join in behind Fnatic here, pick up a kill on the Cyanide just in a few seconds, jumping in, gets the kill, but now once again, easy target for Fnatic to take down, and look at the stun here from Peke. On the 3 members, even gets a kill from it, and then Reckless can just pick it up.
brilliantly done. 4 for 2 there. And Fnatic looking very strong here in game 2. 21 minutes in, 8-4 in kills, and an 8,000 gold lead almost. A stark contrast to game number 1.
Still, it's funny how we just talked about ROCCAT maybe looking for another base race, and then they actually do decide to base race, end up making the wrong decision this time around, because Fnatic was already pushing down with 5 members in this mid lane here. And that was a very smart tactical play by Fnatic, because while they were setting up the Dragon, ROCCAT decided to run down towards the bottom lane and move that way up towards the Dragon here. And Fnatic simply said, okay, Reckless walked around the blue buff towards the mid lane, and then all 5 members of Fnatic just said, don't care about the Dragon for now, let's move straight into this mid lane and start pushing it down. So
go towards the turret, and I don't see ROCCAT being able to defend this one, to be honest. The wave wiped straight out there by Fnatic, and that will be another tower going down. And where are they going here? Scanning out, Ward just in range, they'll steal away a blue buff. Jankos actually trying to come into that one, but will go over on towards XPeke, and Fnatic at this stage can just bait ROCCAT to come towards Baron, I think.
They're just so strong here. The mid game is looking good for them, especially because Reckless had the early Trinity Force completed. We had Athenes, before XPeke, and Source, of course, with the Rod of Ages, while Tristana generally don't want to fight in this mid game. And the same goes for Fizz, because you need more items before you can really be part of these team fights. So Fnatic were just in a perfect situation to set up the Dragon, and and ROCCAT felt like they had to try and contest it. They wanted to go and fight for the Dragon. Ended up being the wrong decision. They were weak at the point, and Fnatic as well could just push into the mid lane. Now just baiting the Baron. Is Vander gonna be the guy face checking? Nope, Fnatic moving in. A lot of watch from both teams here.
Actually spotted there, and Void Spikes coming over the top of the wall from Jankos, actually sending Fnatic back. That in the presence of Tristana and Fizz in the mid lane. They don't want to end up losing their inner turret, just by simply being somewhat caught out there. Over on that side, Tidal Wave coming down, ulti from Cyanide as well. He's going to walk into the box. They switch over towards us, and look at Soaz is right in the middle of them. Zonya's running, still doing the damage of his ultimate. The fish will stop Cyanide chasing, and I think Fnatic here, will they get any more? Oh, overpowered, dodging all the damage. And a little bit lucky maybe there, split second later, and he would have been hit and killed by Peke, but that allowed Fnatic now to back away. The question is, do they trust themselves to do Baron? I don't think they do.
No, they want to play it safe here. Only overpower was really low from the last engage. But you also see the Hourglass pop by Zor. As soon as he gets the healing reduction, pop the Hourglass, and you just wait it out, so you don't drop too low. And now Fnatic though, staying around this Baron here. Will actually lose the pink wards now around the Baron, but can just easily go back to base, buy some new ones, place them, and try and set up the exact same trap there before. Because again, they are still stronger at this point. Not only just by the goal lead, but also just purely on the champion. So they just need to keep looking for fights here. Possibly even the open inhibitor.
Well, Zazas is actually pushing top lane. He's going to be forced to recall out of this. They managed to get the stun onto Overpower. No follow-up though. They want the base. There's the fish coming out. It will land on Cyanide. Knocks him up. Hook actually following through, but no chase in there. TP from Soaz. He went back to base to heal himself up. Yeah, this inhibitor is surely going to go down. Soaz actually going into the middle. Celeber will be focused. Cyanide gets that kill. And where is Jankos? He had to back away, and you can see him recalling there on the top side. One man down. Fnatic can now go to Baron.
Moving straight up towards Baron here. Teleport is ready for overpower in just a second here, so there will be 2 teleports from ROCCAT. But they're going to need the AD carry. He's not going to spawn in time. He's going to have to run from base even after he spawned. So Fnatic, sneaky tricks here. Look at XPeke casting spells into the Baron pit, so ROCCAT actually thinks the Baron has been spawned.
Wow, gets the stun on towards Zazas. That was sensational stuff, honestly, from Peke. Tricking them into it. Reminiscent of the Clairvoyance level 1 brush trick that we saw from Fnatic all those years ago by now. And ROCCAT baited completely into that one. Fnatic, though, not going to stick around.
No, once again, ROCCAT actually stops the Baron. They do have to give up a kill. They stop the Baron, however. Not really a lot they can actually do, because, well, okay, Dragon is actually spawning in 4 seconds, so should be able to pick up a Dragon here. Get some gold. Didn't actually see the timer. So at least they do give up kills, traded for the Dragon, stop the Baron. Fnatic, however, does have their inhibitor down, can go back to Baron, set it up once again.
I suppose the good thing here in this scenario for ROCCAT that it is that middle inhibitor that's gone and not the bottom lane, for example, where they then have to run a lot further away from Baron to start clearing those out. Fnatic, though, have already moved in. Are they going to start it off this time around? They've got a lot of vision there. There's not much on ROCCAT's side, so they need to be a little careful, probably checking with the Lantern before they go in. And Fnatic, I don't think that same trick's going to work twice in a row.
No, but again, it's still going to force ROCCAT to move into the Baron, teleport here from Overpower or Xaxus. Let's see what it is. It is actually Overpower. Xaxus already at the Baron. Celeber, however, just took a massive beating from Xpeke. And he's now very, very low.
Yeah, Jankos also down to about half HP. Peke forced to flash away though as Overpower had joined in thanks to that teleport. And Fnatic again get control over the river. Red buff will be going over onto Reckless. He's currently, by the way, 4-0-3. Having a very solid game on this Cogmore. There's another scan out, will reveal that one more. There's another one just around the corner that Fnatic won't be spotting out at this stage. However, there is also a blue buff up for grabs. If there wasn't that fight for the ward where ROCCAT reveal themselves.
There's teleport for Xpeke. He wanted to get his own blue buff instead of actually joining in here. But now at least he can go down to this bottom lane and push it out as well. There's already a big wave being built up, so ROCCAT needs to send Xaxus to deal with it. He's the only guy with teleport ready because Overpower used it before where Fnatic actually started the Baron. They're looking now to push down this top lane here. So 4-1 from Fnatic, trying to split up ROCCAT here and force Xaxus to go down to this bottom lane. Otherwise the tower is going to die.
Well, they might even just give that one up and look for a 5 versus 4. There's a hook. It's a minion though. Good guy. Just in front of Soaz, who will get his ultimate running there. And in the end, I think Peke is taking this tower down bottom. I can't really see how ROCCAT are going to stop that one from happening. In fact, they are stepping forward. Will they be able to get in? Nice never move will land. Stop Vander from chasing him, but Overpower coming from the side. The fish will connect onto Cyanide. There's a TP on the top side there, though. And it's going to be Peke joining the fight. And just like that, ROCCAT decide they can't actually fight this one with Peke now coming in. They're going to lose that bottom tower, and they may be in trouble. Oh, another two-man stun. Jankos survives that time. But will it be enough to keep them and that tower safe? There is Soaz diving right into the middle of them. Ultimate running. Turret goes down. With a push back here. There is Fizz right into the middle. They managed to kill off Reckless. Cogmore down. Can they get any more? They're not even going to try.
Well, that was beautiful played by Overpower. Really surprised Reckless. He had flash as well. Overpower just flashed onto him, killed him. I'm not sure if he actually E-flashed with it. We're just going to have to see if we do get a replay of it. Still, ROCCAT wanted to engage, forced to teleport from Xpeke here. The tower did go down the bottom lane, but he couldn't actually push on to the next one. And then they just wanted to go back to base, try and land the hook here, force Fnatic to fight under the tower, which did actually work. Soaz was under the tower here, took some damage from it. And then Overpower just with, so let's just see once again, he goes in, actually just flash Qs him and kills him, and Reckless is not ready for it. He did a flash himself, just couldn't react in time.
Almost took a couple with him there at the end though. The Acathian surprise. Baron, of course, was, after all that, still in its pit. Let's have a look and see if ROCCAT are now feeling confident enough to go to it. You have to feel, I mean, it's a 7,000 gold difference. Obviously, sneaking a Baron through would really bring ROCCAT back into this one. However, Fnatic item-wise are still nicely ahead. Obviously, Fnatic want the fights themselves. They were quite happily went under that inhibitor turret in the top lane. So they've got 2 open inhibs now. And ROCCAT can't make that same mistake as before where they were caught out of position or made the decision really to go down towards the bottom lane. And look at it, AD carry, support, jungler are inside the jungle. And they need to get back towards the rest of the team here. Soaz is just going to stop them from coming right at Fnatic. And Reckless will start taking chunks out of the inhibitor. Are they going to be able to defend this one? Zaza stepping forward. Overpower is now there as well. The fish is available. He's landed it, I think, pretty successfully 2 or 3 times just onto Cyanide, who just steps away from the team, takes the damage without too many problems. Oh, Jankos caught out by Soaz on the top side. That surely Will it be? Actually, no, they're going to go aggressive. That Yellow Star almost been taken down. Had to use the Mikhails on himself. There's a hook on Cyanide as well. The fish does come through. Again, it lands on Cyanide. Not enough damage, and the in-him goes down.
And you do see once again how hard it is for Oppo actually to engage in these fights. He wants to be able to flank around, at least until he has the Hourglass completed. But because Fnatic are the ones making the plays, pushing into the base, then he can't flank around them. He can't get onto Reckless here. So had to jump Yellow Star. He survived. Used the DFG as well, and in the end, another fish onto Cyanide. So it's very hard for Oppo again to join these fights, and the reason I keep talking about him, because he's the guy who's supposed to kill Reckless in these fights here. Literally, Kazakhs, we saw it in the last game. It is not the combo where you just like instantly jump the back line, like you poke, 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 and then once people drop low, then you go in and try and finish them. Oppo is the man to go in and assassinate Reckless. He's building towards Hourglass. It will still be a while before he actually gets it, especially because he's not been getting a lot of farm. Let's see here though. Yangas want to take a fight.
Well, he's got Overpower coming in. Flash away from Reckless, and Overpower not able to keep chasing through. And Reckless could have been a little bit different if he didn't actually see him the second that he just hit that ultimate. Capture surprise might have been a little better for him, as Jankos here going to have to jump away. The bubble from Yellow Star already flying in his direction. But now Dragon started off, will be finished off as well by Fnatic. ROCCAT not even going to challenge for that.
No, and Oppo was like, should I push the top lane here? Nope, it's going to be 4 members moving after the Dragon to try and kill me. And he wants to save his flash here, his teleport. Didn't want to have to run through bush and use it. So Fnatic once again now, inhibits are gone. They picked up the Dragon, taking all the gold on the map they can. Back to baiting Baron. Double teleport ready for ROCCAT so they can apply pressure to the two side lanes. And just whoever is down the bottom side can teleport in case we do see a fight break out here. And we might just see Fnatic try the exact same, where they actually play some pink wards, walk into the Baron pit and just sit there and wait for ROCCAT to check. There's a scrying orb on Celebar, however. So at least the first time around it won't work, but then the second time, ROCCAT will be forced to move inside here and potentially get engaged on.
Blind hook coming through the side there. They got vision of Yellow Star though. Just takes the traps for the team. And a scan inside of Baron Pit will reveal one ward. The pink ward at the front will reveal the second one. So ROCCAT's vision of Baron is now gone. What are Fnatic going to do? They were trying to sneak around the side there. Good ward over the top will actually reveal them again.
Going for second inhibitor here. Tower
is
already dead in the top lane. So they want to get 2 inhibitors down before they even look towards the Baron again.
Trying to stun up Jankos. Cyanide also had started the flank around him to get on the opposite side. Stop him from retreating. There's the never move. Doesn't land again. Fnatic now again going to step towards the inhibitor. Reckless hammering away.
Now
Overpower coming in. Who's he going to go for? Reckless is going to get knocked up here. Overpower getting exhausted though, which means that he just can't chase through. So big ulti down here for ROCCAT.
There was his chance here, but also we saw Yellow Star just flash exhaust him before he could even jump in towards Reckless here. And so he wants to go for the fight.
Oh, he's got hooked, but is he really the man that you really want to hook and bring in? Overpower at the back, trying to get in. Can't actually do much with that. Jankos being focused there by Soaz, and there is the second inhibitor going down. Super minions, a big wave of them as well coming down mid.
Yeah, and Celebar dead for 40 seconds here. Fnatic moving straight for the Baron. So Overpower this time around could finally flank around here. Did throw his ultimate, but leave it landed on Yellow Star, then flashed away from the rest of the team and also into range of exhaust here. Now he's being the man scouting the rest of Fnatic once again. That was a little bit too early.
Well,
trying again.
He might actually tried to do that a second time. That didn't really work out. The fish thrown in lands onto Soaz. Do all that much to him. Just separates from the rest of the team. So Fnatic here actually looking like they want to back away. Is that because of how low Soaz is at this point? Knowing that Celebar respawned and he's coming in.
Yeah, I mean, Soaz could have gone back and then teleported in if they were starting the Baron, but once again, they were just trying to set up a pick. They didn't get it, so now they lost all the time, but it could have been on Baron. Oh, Oppo actually jumping for Soaz here, and might not be done yet.
Voidspark's coming back in. Fnatic not willing to give up the position that they've got here on Baron, and actually going to start it off. So Baron kicked off here by Fnatic. Will they stick to it? There's the TP from Soaz. Yellow Star up at the front. And that Baron is going down here. I'm not sure that ROCCAT can actually get in range of it. Two of them aren't really close. They are going to kill off Yellowstone. There it's Sullivan that gets that. Baron's still not done. There it is, finally finished off. So as we'll get that. The fish, though, inside of the Baron pit will actually be cleansed away. And that now is Soaz being focused. Good ulti from Cyanide in the front. Jankos down to less than half. Soaz exhausted up inside of the pit. Bender is going to go down. They try and turn this one around, but Jankos does get a kill. That's a 2-for-1 in favor of ROCCAT. And they're all inside the pit with no way to get out.
Only Cyanide has flash ready. Trying to recall. That's not going to happen here. You have to take the fight.
Or you just see what there's the ulti coming in. Overpower also full. Sonya's used. Sazas goes down. Jankos has popped his ulti to try and escape from things. Gets away from the stun. And just like that, Fnatic trapped up. Reckless can't quite get around there. But look at the base. The base is actually going down here. Super minions hammering away on the Nexus turrets. Jankos is doing circles around the jungle. And now Reckless is actually starting to move in. They're going to take that second inhibitor down again. There's still 20 seconds on the 3 dead men. And look at it. He's going to fall here. The super minions have taken down both Nexus turrets.
So 2 inhibitors gone now. Nexus turrets are gone. You got the Baron. You won the fight. Full credit to Expect. He's been playing absolutely amazing in this game here. Once again, double stun he lands. Nukes down Celebar instantly. And they were stuck in the Baron pit. They couldn't get out. 4 members from ROCCAT moving in. Double stun. Celebar, you're dead. And then Opal tries to jump in again and again and just end up down. I'm not even sure what he's building right now. Didn't actually go for the large rod here towards the Outlaws. Not sure if he want to get a void stuff, but it's not really going to help him at this point. Especially also with QSS for Reckless. So if he actually does land the perfect ulti, QSS fish is just dropped on the ground and he can step out of it. So we'll see this placing a ward. ROCCAT is trying to do the Fnatic trick.
I was going to say, it's a bit of a mirror of our last game where ROCCAT were in Fnatic shoes. Fnatic actually pinging to back off. Look at this though, starting to now move in. And, well, they've got a Kog'Maw. There they go. They're going to actually go towards Soaz. He will just Sonya through everything. Tidal Wave comes through. Gets the Knockabout towards Overpower. There's 1 kill. Jankos tries to jump away. Pops the ultimate, but will be finished by the double of Reckless. 3 of them did escape, but 2 are dead for 50 seconds.
It's going to be game. There's no Nexus turret here. 5 members from Fnatic pushing in. Just have to walk past this tower and go straight for the Nexus.
So Fnatic then moving towards the base. ROCCAT trying their best to hold on to it. Stun actually did land onto Celebar, but he was already mid-air from the rocket jump. It won't matter, they focus the Nexus, and Fnatic come back to win game number 2 and tie us up here in the semi-final.
So ROCCAT this time around tried to get a bit of a split push comp. They first picked Fizz. It was left open, was banned in the first game by Fnatic. Not sure if they didn't want to risk Fnatic picking it, therefore they took it in the as the very first pick in the game. And while Opal did get some kills, it just never paid off because Fnatic, they got the lead, they could keep forcing team fights. ROCCAT never got to the point where they could actually split push.